Have a look at this tub of butter from UK supermarket Sainsbury's. It costs £4.75. £4.75 for butter. But above that, in smaller purple text, is the nectar or loyalty card price. £3.50. That's much better. This online example is reminiscent of what you would see in many physical Sainsbury's shops as well right now. So am I getting a £1.25 discount for being a loyal customer here, or have I just avoided a £1.25 fine for not simply being in the club? What exactly is the game here? Because it feels less like a reward and more like a protection racket. This little piece of plastic, or more likely for you a barcode in an app, has completely taken over the way that we shop. It promises savings, points, and exclusive deals. But what if I told you that the discounts are just a distraction? The real reason that these cards exist has almost nothing to do with rewarding your loyalty, and everything to do with turning you, your shopping habits, and your data into a multi-100 million pound product. Let's see what this funny business is all about. So, to understand all of this madness, we need to go back to the 1950s. If you were doing your weekly shop back then, your loyalty reward came in the form of these little things. Green stamps. The deal was pretty simple. You bought your groceries, the cashier gave you some stamps, you went home, licked them, stuck them in a book, and once you had enough, you could trade them for a new kettle or toaster. It was a pretty straightforward, one-dimensional transaction. And crucially, the supermarket learned absolutely nothing about you. You were simply an anonymous face buying anonymous groceries. But then in 1995, something changed. Tesco, at the time lagging behind its rival Sainsbury's, launched the Club Card. And this wasn't just a modern version of stamps. The plastic card with its magnetic stripe was, for all intents and purposes, a tracking device. You see, back then, Tesco then partnered with a very small data analytics firm called dunnhumby. Seriously. The story goes that after just a few months of analysing the data flowing in from using these new loyalty cards, the Tesco chairman told them, "You know more about my customers after 3 months than I know after 30 years. And that one sentence tells you everything. The game here has now changed. The goal wasn't just to sell you groceries anymore, it was to understand you and your shopping habits. And the effect was monumental. Within a year, Club Card holders were spending 28% more at Tesco and 16% less at Sainsbury's. And Sainsbury's, who had initially dismissed the idea, was forced to then respond. In 2002, they joined forces with BP, Debenhams, and Barclaycard to then create a sort of loyalty supergroup. And this was the Nectar Card. The modern loyalty war had now begun. And it was never really about people's loyalty. It was about their data. Fast forward to today, and the old model of just collecting points for a voucher seems almost quite quaint. The main event now is Club Card prices or Nectar prices, aka the two-tier system. And this is a textbook example of an economic strategy called third-degree price discrimination, which sounds very complicated, but it's actually quite simple. It's when a seller divides its customers into distinct groups and charges them different prices for the exact same product. In the supermarket, those two groups are the scanners, those of us with a loyalty card, and the punished, those without the loyalty card. Don't believe me? Let's just have a look at the price of a few essentials. These aren't small differences. This is a deliberate strategy to create a powerful fear of missing out, or FOMO. When you're standing in the aisle and see that you could be paying almost double for a bottle of olive oil, the thought of not signing up feels financially irresponsible. It's almost a form of coercion. You're presented with a choice: pay a massively inflated price or hand over your personal data. And it works. A staggering 97% of UK shoppers are members of at least one supermarket loyalty scheme. Well, and as you can see, myself included. And for 27% of people who signed up within the last year, accessing these lower prices was the main reason why they joined. We've been successfully hoarded into the system. What happens once we're in? So this is the heart of it. The discount isn't a reward for your loyalty. The discount is the fee the supermarket is paying you for one of your most valuable assets, your data. In this new economy, you and your shopping basket are the product being sold. It all starts with the wizards behind the curtain. Data science companies like dunnhumby for Tesco and Nectar360 for Sainsbury's, these firms analyze the billions of data points generated by over 20 million active Clubcard users and 24 million Nectar members. You then might get sent a personalized voucher for cat food because you own a cat. This data then dictates everything. It influences the shop layout, telling them to place the beer next to the crisps to increase customer spend. It optimizes inventory management, predicting demand to reduce food waste, which is a good thing, mind, of course. And it even drives new product development. Tesco's premium Finest range was famously created because Clubcard data revealed a segment of customers who were buying their basics at Tesco but going to Marks & Spencer for their luxury items. And so Tesco improved on their multi-billion-pound brand just by listening in on our shopping. But they don't just analyze our past behavior. They try to actively shape our future behavior. And they do this by playing little tricks on our brains. First, they use something called the habits loop, and this comes in 3 parts: cue, routine, and reward. The cue is a notification on your phone with a personalized offer. This is just for you. The routine is then you going to the shop and buying that item. And then the reward is the little dopamine hit that you get from saving, quote unquote, at the checkout and your points adding up. Over time, this kind of slowly rewires your brain to associate that supermarket with a more positive feeling, making your shopping trip an automatic, unthinking habit. And to make that habit stick, they turn shopping into a game to keep you hooked. For example, Tesco runs Clubcard challenges, which are personalized missions sent to millions of users. You might then get a challenge like buy 3 different types of coffee in the next 6 weeks to earn 500 bonus points. And this isn't just a random discount sent to you, it's a quest designed to make you spend more often. Sainsbury's does something similar with your Nectar prices. You get up to 10 personalized discounts each week, but you have to go into the app and manually unlock them. And this small action makes you feel like you've earned the discount, creating a sense of achievement and making you more likely to use it. And this is the same playbook, you might notice, that fast food chains are using, and is why many of them are all pushing discounts, but only if you have their app. But here's the most final and important piece of this puzzle. The data isn't just for the supermarket's own use. They sell it. See, supermarkets are now some of the most powerful advertising agencies in the country. A brand like Coca-Cola will pay dunnhumby or Nectar360 for access to their anonymized customer data. They can identify incredibly specific groups like households in the Northwest with 2 children who regularly buy Pepsi but have never bought Coke Zero. Then Coca-Cola can, in this scenario, pay the supermarket again to push a targeted Clubcard or Nectar or loyalty card price on Coke Zero directly to that specific group of shoppers' app. So if you think about this, the supermarket profits from 1, selling you the groceries. They then profit by selling that data from the transaction back to the company that made the groceries. And then they profit a 3rd time by charging that same company to fund the discount to get you to buy more groceries. It's kind of like paying your landlord rent and then having him charge a TV company for a list of your favorite shows, and then having him charge the TV company again to slice a leaflet for their new TV series right under your door. They're profiting at every single stage, and your data is the raw material that fuels this entire machine. Now, this mountain of data also gives the supermarkets a really crazy amount of power over their suppliers. When a company like, let's say, Heinz sits down to negotiate with prices at a supermarket, that supermarket now just doesn't know how many bottles of ketchup that they've sold. Now, thanks to loyalty card customer profile data, they know exactly what percentage of Heinz customers will switch to the supermarket's own brand if the price goes up by, let's say, 10 pence. They can model the precise financial impact of delisting a product or changing its price, which gives them incredible leverage to demand lower prices from suppliers and, crucially, to force those suppliers to fund the member price or loyalty card discounts and promotions themselves. The supplier is effectively paying the supermarket for the privilege of discounting its own product to a highly targeted list of customers that the supermarket has identified using that data that the supplier's own sales helped to create. It's a brutal, brilliant feedback loop of power. So there you have it. The little plastic card in your wallet or the app on your phone is not a simple discount tool. It is a key that unlocks a massive hidden ecosystem of data analysis, psychological manipulation, and corporate power plays. It started as a simple reward for shopping, but it quickly evolved into a sophisticated data tracker, and this data was used to build psychological hooks to keep us going back to the same shops, before finally being turned into a product ourselves in its own right. It's a retail empire that generates billions. And this brings us to a great contradiction: the illusion of loyalty. You see, these cards don't necessarily make us more emotionally loyal to a supermarket. In fact, most of us probably have cards from multiple supermarkets. But what they do create is a system of data dependency and financial friction. Now, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority has recently looked into all of this and has concluded that the savings are technically genuine. And they are. You do pay less than a non-member price. But that finding, while completely true, completely misses the bigger picture. Yeah, the discount is real, but it's a payment. It's a fee for something far more valuable that you are giving away. Just a few years ago, all of these same discounts existed, but in Sainsbury's they were on little orange stickers, and they were for everyone who went to the shop. These things aren't new. Now these discounts are for only if you have a loyalty card. So the real reason why these supermarket loyalty cards have taken over is that they've successfully convinced millions of us to pay for our shopping twice. Once at the till with our money, and the second time, every single time we scan with our personal data. And in this new economy, the supermarkets have figured out that our data is worth far, far more than the price of butter. Thank you everybody for joining me on this mildly dystopian journey into your shopping basket. I'm sure you've got your own ridiculous stories about non-member prices or eerily specific personalized offers that made you wonder if your toaster has secretly been listening into your conversations. But do share with me the best ones in the comments below. Misery loves company, but if you enjoyed this episode of Funny Business and now view your Nectar card or your Club card with an unhealthy dose of suspicion, please do give this video a like and get subscribed to Funny Business as well for more content like this. I'd also love to hear from what you people around the world have to say about this, and if you're seeing similar schemes become more widespread in your specific regions. But now, if you'll excuse me, I think I've just earned enough points for a free existential crisis.